Oh, and we're off. Let's see what happens here.
Attention all units. Suspect seen heading south. Block all major roads and capture the suspect.
Argick's pulled slightly ahead here. Getting further on that first ramp. So Argick's definitely going to be off the board about a second or two ahead. Or I could be wrong. Put up on that road right there. Not seeing a CE skip attempt on either party's part. And it looks like Argick's probably going to hit this rail down here at about a 102, 103-ish. About 2 seconds behind. Not too bad, not too bad. And it looks like we're much more synced up now. Argick slowing down really badly on that ramp right there. That's going to cost him because I think ZellnuuEon a lot closer than he was a few seconds ago. By the way, if I'm misgendering either of these runners, please let me know, because I'm not as familiar with some of this community as I should be. Yeah, ZellnuuEon definitely pulling ahead, getting into the truck section, dropping down on 144, it looks like. With Argick almost 5 seconds behind, that's pretty rough. Looks like both runners are having trouble staying on the ground. ZellnuuEon gets off. Ooh, ZellnuuEon hits that ramp. Unfortunate. 209 for ZellnuuEon's City Escape, and it looks like we're going to see about a 217 to 18. Unfortunate. So that's about a 10-second difference going into Bigfoot. ZellnuuEon is a little bit faster at getting to this game of tag.
This game of tag is boring. I'm out here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay, bring it on!
Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Crate tax, or strats from ZellnuuEon. Not going for the front crate, and it looks like Argick is going to go for the front crate. Save some time here. Goes for the back crate and botches it. So ZellnuuEon going to pull a little further ahead now that Argick's going to have to wait for Bigfoot to circle around to get some more hits in.
Hey guy, take care.
A box for first piece on ZellnuuEon. Got to go way out of the way into this back corner over here. Piece doesn't get one and has to go to the storage area. ZellnuuEon, on the other hand, gets first piece, has to go down to the bottom, get behind a face, middle piece, center of 8th pillar, so back up top. Not a great set, but not all that terrible. It could have been much worse. But the slow climb's definitely going to make it a little less. Oh, I forgot. That's actually a really bad third piece, isn't it? You have to climb for it. Yuck. Bad commentary. What am I doing? Struggling with these hints. I think Argick just missed a free piece under that weight. I could be wrong. I think I saw that off the left side of the screen. True. ZellnuuEon pulling easily ahead right now. ZellnuuEon going into Press X Simulator, the boss. Eggman, not too bad. And Yeah, it looks like I was right. He did miss that free piece earlier. That is very unfortunate. That added way too much time to his run. ZellnueEon over a full split ahead.
Yeah, I feel good.
Some of my knowledge upon you. For those of you who didn't tune in yesterday, didn't get all the full explanations, aren't too familiar with the runs, you'll see that with tails, the runners will typically try and do short hops around the corners. That is to preserve momentum, because these mechs are really bad at preserving momentum around turns while staying on foot. So just keep note of that. Then if they forget to make a jump around a turn, you might see a very sudden halt in tails momentum. That is why you'd see that. On ZellnuuEon's part, because he's not as far ahead as I thought he would be by now. Alright, up here on ZellnuuEon's screen, you're gonna see him start to shoot through this, he's trying to shoot a beetle, no, actually it's just a mech, through a wall, and it opens one of the gates earlier. It looks like he got it, and there'll be a gate right next to these crates if he didn't get it. He did not get it, that's unfortunate, that's gonna cost him a few seconds. I also didn't talk about the gate hop that you just saw both of them do, but there'll be another one later in the stage. You'll be able to see it then. And you're going to see him shooting the mech through the incline here on Argick's screen, hopefully. He got it that time. So Argick's not going to have that first gate you guys saw next to these crates. He's just going to keep on going, saves him some time there. And then ZellnuuEon is going for the second gate hop right here. Lands it pretty flawlessly. Aside from that death, he got a pretty okay, pretty solid prison lane. 148 plus his death time. I didn't get to see it. Argick is going to try and get a beetle right here. He does not get it. He has to get all the way up to the gate and wait for the gate to open. And then he's going to shoot some enemies right here to open the gate. I usually see people shoot it through the wall because it's faster, but he didn't go for that. Does not get the gate hop. Now he's going to have to wait for this elevator. So ZellnuuEon's going into Metal Harbor. Second Sonic stage, one of the most annoying Sonic stages in a run, because in this stage you're going to be looking for little ways to optimize your time, and every little strat you do can save up time a little bit, but they add up. But if you miss any of them, there's a good chance you're going to die because the entire stage is over a death pit. So very scary stage for running, because every save is basically necessary, but if you mess up, you're basically losing all your time save one mess up. It's not a very fun situation to be in. But so far ZellnuuEon's doing pretty solid. Argick now coming into Metal Harbor. Going to see them trying to skip most of the gate, or most of the loops, because those loop animations take way longer than they need to. And we're speed runners. Speed fast. What you missed, what I didn't talk about there was there's actually a mechanic called storage. We did talk about it yesterday on commentary as well, where you're basically, the short version of it is you're confusing the game into thinking you're about to do a short roll, but you're actually charging a spin dash, but you stop charging the spin dash before the game realizes you're charging a spin dash, and it's funny and it just causes shenanigans. We'll see more of that in the Shadow fight coming up, where you're going to look like Sonic is running into Shadow to hit him. He's actually using storage hitboxes to hit Shadow. Fun little stuff. You'll learn that more and more if you play the game, and most of you runners who are watching already know it because it's pretty entry-level stuff for us. Solid 130 finish on Metal Harbor for ZellnuuEon, with Argick catching up only about 30 seconds behind after that Wild Canyon, so not too bad. And both runners did it, I just didn't comment on it with ZellnuuEon, is they're abusing weird physics of the game, because this game's programmed well, to basically spin dash jump vertically up the rocket to skip the entire section of the countdown. Really awesome scene that everyone loves, that's unskippable. I found you, Faker. You're seeing it on the right side, you'll be hearing it and seeing it on the left side here in about 10 seconds-ish.
Yes! Barely made it.
Hit, yeah, you're seeing storage tricks on pretty fast shadow. What, sub 12 seconds? That's really respectable shadow.
Whew. So far, so good.
Typing faker in all caps right now.
That blue hedgehog again, of all places.
I found you, Faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You're comparing yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be
I'll
my
make you
fake.
eat those words.
There's no time to play games. You won't even get the chance.
Oh, we are not seeing storage here. This is going to be a
I see. So you're not just a hedgehog.
Brady shadow here. And a death by Argick on Shadow 1. Not a good thing to have in a race. So let's move back to ZellnuuEon real quick. ZellnuuEon is moving into Green Forest, or has moved into Green Forest. Fun fact, this is a very fun stage casually. Not as fun for runners because the geometry in the stage actively looks for ways to mess you up and slow you down. Not fun stuff. I don't know if ZellnuuEon does wall run, but ZellnuuEon at the very least will probably be doing some loop skips. Other than that, it's really just a matter of trying to time your spin dashes and aim your spin dashes not to go off of ramps horribly. That was I guess commentator's curse. For a loop skip or okay, yeah, just a loop skip. That's perfectly fine. That's what I would do too. Safer strat, easier strat for entry-level runners, and it still saves you some time. Not as much time as a wall run, but not everyone wall runs. ZellnuuEon will probably also be going for bungee skip, which is where you skip the brief cutscene where Sonic catches a bungee. Yeah. It's very tricky because you have to dodge an invisible wall that will throw you straight down into a death pit if you don't time it and space it just right. And going for that last loop skip, lands it. And we're going to see ZellnuuEon wrapping up Green Forest just as Argick's getting into it. So we're going into Pumpkin Hill with Knucks. This is a wide open Knuckles stage. I'd say the only other stage that's more wide open than this one is Meteor Herd, but I'm very fond of the stage just because things tend to spread themselves out in really stupid ways. So we got an opening piece, King of the Hill. I usually do not see this as an opening piece. This is kind of a rare thing for me to see. But there's two King of the Hill pieces, that one being the much better one, the third variant being terrible. Cheer by ZellnuuEon. And now he's got to find a monitor, which there's one right there. Grabs it. Lost Pumpkin. He's going to go to Church Mountain. It's a dig piece if I'm not mistaken, and this is going to be a pretty fast. They got it was pretty good. 43 seconds, nothing to scoff at all. As Argick wraps up the Green Forest.
Huh. No problem.
We're on to Mission Street with ZellnuuEon. Tail stage, very cycle-based stage. There's a specific moving platform that they're going to try and optimize the cycle on so they don't have to wait for it to come back down. The earliest cycle that we can get RTA that we know of right now is what we call 0 cycle. And it's achieved by just very optimum movement, getting all the platform cycles up until that last one, starting with this wait right here. They're going to try and pause hover up to the wait, did not do the pause hover, and did not make the wait. So we're not going to see a 0 cycle on the right side of your screen. It's still possible to get a first cycle, what they call a half cycle. I missed the pieces on the left side of the screen. I apologize. Stage seems to be going. Oh no, had to grab a second hit. Was not sure about it. I actually don't know what they're looking for. Alright, so Tails gonna hit this ramp, do a quick boost not to get caught by those barricades. Hit this, jump up on there. If you don't jump up on here, it's a long walk around, so you have to get up on that weight. Circles around, hops up on this platform, and this is the platform I was referring to earlier. You want to catch it on an early cycle. What you're seeing right now is what looks very scary to do this when you're playing, because you don't realize just how high you are. But it's a very easy skip. But ZellnuuEon was firing some shots off early, so I'm a little surprised that jet didn't hit him. Platform's easy to walk by, and ZellnuuEon's basically done with the stage. The rest of the stage is just running and not bonking and hitting enemies along the way. Very easy stuff. Argick over here heavily struggling with this third piece on Pumpkin Hill. Oh wow, was it the Lost Pumpkin? 225 is going to hurt because ZellnuuEon's already moving into Aquatic Mine. I'm not seeing free pieces on ZellnuuEon's screen. That camera turn right there is ZellnuuEon looking for more free pieces on those fans. Gonna hit the switch, gonna hit the beetle, hope for a free piece, did not get it. Piece, look for another free piece by destroying that broken minecart. So ZellnuuEon's gonna be popping open some ovens. All the way to the bottom when they should have stayed at second level, so that's going to cost them a little bit of time. Not too bad. Other than a minecart, that is going to be the spiked enemy on bottom. ZellnuuEon knew exactly where to go. Easy piece. And then the third, in front of a mysterious door. Unfortunate, ZellnuuEon's going to have to go all the way back up to the top where they hit that first switch. It's a really slow piece, but it's still going to wrap the stage up in less than a minute for ZellnuuEon. Oh, unless they can't get this pulley. Gonna struggle getting the pulley grab. Ooh. Struggle is real to get that underground piece. 107 Aquatic Mine. That could have been a little bit faster, but the pulley was a little slow, and getting that digs piece, it was rough. On the way, trying to get a good cycle. I did not see the weight jump. Oh, but that's costly. That time is costly. But we're gonna more or less stay with Argick on this one. Route 101, which ZellnuuEon was playing, not all that noteworthy. It's very hard to die on the stage. What's really noteworthy is you're gonna see after the first downhill slope, Argick is gonna start drifting with tails. That is to remove the deceleration cap, which is to basically say, while drifting, the game does not automatically decelerate you after you take a downhill slope or a boost. Well-timed, well-placed boosts. It should be a relatively simple stage. It's a stressful stage to play, because every little control stick movement can be bad. Otherwise, it's really just straightforward what you see on the screen. Not much to say on it. Argick, on the other hand, at about 2-minute mark, getting over the pit, going uphill, shooting at stuff, might get hit by that jet. Got really close to getting hit by the jet. I'm just probably going to shoot the guys on the right. Yep. And then from here on out, it's just press X simulator or press B simulator, depending on your controller, or even press square simulator if you're one of the weird ones. Shout out to PlayStation.
I did it!
Not go for the balloon on the right side.
That was a little tough.
And ZellnuuEon's holding that boost on, probably waiting for the right uphill, or probably waiting to get out of this U-turn up here. This U-turn usually costs a little bit of time uphill, so free pieces. I'm not. Oh wait, there might have been a free piece right next to the start. Yes, there was.
It's closer. 2 more left.
Good catch by Argick. That should actually go a ways into helping Argick catch up, because that's good RNG to start with. Not either. Hit the minecart. Oh no, hit the barrel. Did not hit the minecart. Okay.
It's closer.
Took him a little bit to realize it was on the bottom, but found it, but having a little bit of a struggle digging to it. Else found the president. That's cool. Gonna have to go to the ghost room for the third piece. And it's not go for the sign clip, going all the way up to go through the tunnel. That does cost a little bit of time, but looks like gonna have a comparable time to ZellnuuEon with Aquatic Mine. Maybe a little faster, but overall about the same.
I found him.
Base. This stage is fun because, like Metal Harbor, it's one of those things that you can easily mess up and just die. There are a number of ways to approach this stage based on level of skill and just muscle memory. What we're probably going to see is them both taking this tunnel right here, and then maybe axle jumping over the gate to the left side. And this is typically the safest route. Oh, didn't even go for the axle jump, just going all the way through the stage vanilla. In a race scenario, probably doesn't realize that they're as far ahead as they are, but it's still good to be safe right now. Platform drop without having to grab the pulley first, which is good. That's time save. Going to take the top route here. Not going to do the hover. They're just going to go through most of the stage vanilla, which is perfectly fine right now. The stage is faster when you take shortcuts, but it is still perfectly viable to get through this with a decent time vanilla. I see some door hops here. Basically saves you the trouble of shooting them. Minor time saves, but they add up. Camera trouble there. Up, shoot the crate. Oh, did not get the crate the first time. That only cost maybe a second, but still. Skip on the right side. They're going to hop up here. Yes, they are. And they're going to hop up on this platform instead of destroying it like normal, and then jump shortly out of bounds here. And it just passes a short stretch without much hassle. It's about to wrap it up on the stage. Over 2 minutes. Not too bad. ZellnuuEon just entered the desert stretch of the game, which can be a bit of a hassle. It has 2 bosses that cost a lot of time if not done well. It's very difficult to do well because the timing of the jumps is very tight, and we'll get to that. And then one of them is cycle based, and if you spend more than one cycle, you can lose upwards of a minute. A Pyramid Cave, also very comparable to Metal Harbor. A lot of small strats that add up to very significant time save over time, but not so much individually. Harbor, they can often cause problems. The best thing about them, though, is there's not a perpetual death pit in the middle of the stage. There are death pits on the outsides, but you're typically not in as much trouble through most of the strats of dying if you miss them. Stuff like Snake Skip, maybe, but I don't know if we're going to see a Snake Skip here by ZellnuuEon. Noting that this stage is also just very fun to practice. Possibly, yes. So jumped over the door, saves maybe 2 seconds, but still, it looks awesome too. Goes to the right side to try and mess up the Ghost AI, succeeds in messing up the Ghost AI. Gonna try and jump through the crack of the door, succeeds first try. Very solid so far. No time going through this tunnel. And ramps on the tunnel, not too good. A little bit of a time loss, but still fine. Gets through the door just fine, hits checkpoint, and it looks like they're gonna go vanilla route. They're not gonna take Snake Skip, because that is one of the riskier skips. That is actually the riskiest skip of the stage. Alright, simple loop skip here. We're seeing some weird frame drops on ZellnuuEon's side. Ooh, unfortunate home in on the gold beetle, costing some time. A little longer to make that platform drop than you should. And it looks like ZellnuuEon's going to be finishing roughly around the 2-minute mark here for Pyramid Cave. 201, 202, 203, okay, 203. Not too bad. Plenty of room for improvement in the stage, but I'd take a 2-minute versus completely messing up strats and possibly dying and taking longer. Strats in Pyramid Cave, you are right. In the second pulley. So Death Chamber is it's a stage. Oh, got a red first piece, black, yellow stripes. I'm sure they know where it is. They go back. Yes, they do. Turn right, go through the door. Yeah, they know what they're doing. So this means they're not going to be able to use blue piece death strats, which is where you get a blue first piece, and if you do, you get the piece, and then you kill Knuckles, and there's a very, very significant chance that the second piece will spawn in red room, which is very helpful in saving time between traveling back from blue room. But we're not going to get to see that because they got a first red piece, and go around and find these other 2 pieces. Argick now finishing up at a 223 hidden base. That's kind of rough. That is actually really rough. I haven't been tuning into Argick, so I don't know Argick's average time there. I don't know if that was good for Argick or bad for Argick, but that's going to cost him because that's over 20 seconds, or roughly 20 seconds slower than the opponent, ZellnuuEon. For the piece here, but I mean, it's not like ZellnuuEon needs my help. ZellnuuEon knows where they're going. They probably know the stage much better than I do because I don't know it very well. That's a 123 Death Chamber. That Pyramid Cave music's bae, you know that. You see ZellnuuEon do this strat, where you abuse weird terrain physics to jump over this whole thing, and it just saves you the trouble of going through this loop here. It's not too bad of a time save, depending on your execution. It was nice to see that, because we didn't see it on ZellnuuEon. So Boom Boo on ZellnuuEon's screen is the cycle-based boss I was referring to, where you're going to hit the hourglass behind Boom Boo, and then you're going to hopefully hit Boom Boo 4 times before Boom Boo goes back into this chasing phase. Depending on how many times you hit Boom Boo, if you hit Boom Boo a number of times before but do not get all 4 hits, the next cycle can take significantly longer. So it's very dangerous to go for these hits because of how long it can take if you do not get that 4th hit. 2 hits, 3 hits, and going for the 4th hit. Oh, that was a pretty clean boom boo. Oh, I'm so sad I missed Argick's alternate strat. But I missed it. Ooh, got a clean super bounce off the start. So Egg Golem is another boss that can take way too much time off of you if you don't do it well. The fastest way to fight Egg Golem is to use super bounces, which is abusing bounce bracelet's weird properties. But if you mess up the super bounce, you can actually cost yourself a lot more time than just doing Egg Golem vanilla. And then wrapping it up, we're going to see the 4th hit, and then they're going to go around behind them and, yeah, finish Egg Golem relatively fast. I forgot to talk about super bounce. It's, to put it very simply, it is when you initiate the bounce attack, if you have horizontal momentum while you do it, and that horizontal momentum hits a wall while you're in the bounce form, it will transfer all of your horizontal momentum into vertical momentum. So it'll basically shoot you up as fast as you were going forward. We're going to see a first piece in the core for Death Chamber on Argick, while ZellnuuEon is moving through EE. Most likely going to go for EE skip, which is basically just an easy out of bounds, just skip. Otherwise, ZellnuuEon is going to be trying to get through this fast to meet a good platform cycle right before performing the skip. But this is where you're going to see more of the optimized Tails movement type things where you're going to be jumping around corners. You're also going to see hops before the doors to make sure that they don't bonk on the doors. Slow opening animation. Otherwise, EE is not all that noteworthy. It is noteworthy that in the story, EE has an obligatory upgrade, and because speedrunners are speedrunners, we're not going to get it. Oh, I missed it. Did Argick not know where pattern shorts were? Because that took a minute to get a piece that was in the core. That was really rough. Platform cycle, and ZellnuuEon is about to use this barrel to clip out of the wall by using the motion of the door and the barrel's weird physics, and basically just playing the game the way it was intended because this game is programmed very well. A different setup that I'm not used to. I think it's an older setup. I think Jazz commented on that in chat. There it is, perfect. Alright, looks like Argick's having a bit of a struggle trying to find this third piece. Yeah, go through the door and it's probably there. Yeah. Argick having a bit of a struggle here. 220 on the second piece, that is really rough. ZellnuuEon's just going to be holding down right while hovering until they see, like, they're following visual cues right there where you're going to fall into the goal ring from here. They won't actually see the goal ring, but we know where it is, and that's good enough. Alright, so that's a 306 Death Chamber. That is very costly. That's gonna just... It's really rough. We're gonna see over here, though, hot molten lava below. We're gonna see a ground piece to start off Knuckles' Meteor Herd for ZellnuuEon, which could be really good or really bad. It's a very good first piece because it's just right there next to you at the start.
Huh?
Top of that's 2 ground pieces. What is this RNG?
What the? A ghost?
Getting that? Alright. I definitely didn't know you could do that prior to this tournament. I was told later. So, ground piece is pretty fascinating, and jump from the star, so mid piece. I think the RNG, I'm not an expert on Knuckles, I'm not going to claim to be, but it was kind of wacky RNG there. I've been up here in the second piece than the third piece, but the 111 meteor herd. So it is pretty bad RNG. Alright. Thank you, chat. You're awesome. Jazz. Shoutouts.
What a hassle.
We got what? Rouge boss fight, and then Crazy Gadget, Eggman 2, Final Rush, Shadow 2. So not too much left in the game here, but we're probably going to see a 15-second Rouge fight, roughly, because what we're going to do, what ZellnuuEon's going to do is going to hit Rouge at the very beginning of the fight, with or without grabbing a ring first, who knows. Let's see what goes on. Well, goes for the ring, hits Rouge. Once you hit Rouge like this, it's very interesting. The camera always forces you towards Rouge, so holding up and then doing drill dives very rapidly, Rouge just doesn't really have any way of fighting that with her AI program the way it is, so basically you just handstand until she dies. Did not get the arm jump from Argick on the Egg Golem. Tried for it briefly, but didn't get it. So Crazy Gadget, probably the most fun skipless Sonic stage, but play it skipless because it's faster not to, because speedrunning. But the first thing you'll notice is we skip resetting the gravity to do, so we're running on ceilings where the game intends you to be running on floors. The time of a couple of switch presses, not too much time, but it's still time saved. And we're gonna see, yes, we're going left. Is it gonna be CGS? Yes. Not quite the skip, but still a skip nonetheless. Basically, we're going to treat this level like going to be leaving this section with the gravity that this level and the game designers did not expect. It looks like hit a kill plane. Yes, Argick, or ZellnuuEon hit a kill plane there. Really rough. You have to make a very well-distanced spin dash jump. Because of this, the rest of the level doesn't really understand how to handle this because, ooh, that's another kill plane hit. These deaths can add up. The level isn't programmed in such a way to understand how to handle Sonic in this gravity. Basically, it just turns into a massive exploitation of the level's geometry. And what's going to ultimately happen is ZellnuuEon is just going to go through a wall and through another wall and hit a gold ring and be done with the stage without doing at least half this. Oh no, that's another death on ZellnuuEon. Hitting the acid without any rings. Really, really rough here. ZellnuuEon keeps this up. Argick might actually catch up. Another kill plane. This is really rough. I'm somewhat surprised ZellnuuEon probably hasn't gone for a skipless CG yet. And as I say it, ZellnuuEon's going for it. You're losing too much time. The only thing you can really do is just move forward a different way. Skipless CG, which is the most fun Sonic stage in the game, in my humble opinion. That's alright. Argick gonna hit the skull ring clean. Oh, there we go. And good. ZellnuuEon's gonna do this light dash here. Probably roll in, no, bounce into the bracelet, hit this, hit another light dash. I mean, the level itself isn't all that complicated. It just looks complicated because of the gravity gimmicks, but it's still really fun to run through. We're going to see a nice little skip in the last room. And we're going to see how Argick handles Meteor Herd, because Argick's knuckle stages have not been very beneficial to the runs. It looked like water drops, if I'm not mistaken. That's all the way at the top, next to the meteors, but I want to say it's the one at the top. Argick is immediately confused, not knowing where to go. This is a little bit rough. The lack of memorization on Knuckles pieces definitely will cost you as a runner in this game. Trust me, I know, because I'm really bad at Knuckles. To be in a Knuckles stage without knowing where these pieces are. Oh, it was the one in the middle. Eggman 2, very good at just being a troll, because he likes to end runs for some reason. Or something. But it looks like ZellnuuEon's having absolutely no trouble, just not even putting up with Eggman, taking no hits, getting Eggman done in 20 seconds, going into Final Rush at 42 minutes roughly, where we will most likely see FR skip, because FR skip is a thing that runners do, and why wouldn't you if you can? Fantastic skip, because it just skips almost the entire level.
I found him. Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to see about a 18 checkpoint. Yep. We're going to do a skipless FR. Unless they're trying to swag and go for fast FR, but I don't see that being a thing right now.
Long time no see, treasure hunter. Did you find
FR. We might see an FR wall run. I don't... Oh no, the gravity. The gravity was not kind to ZellnuuEon there. But I don't know if ZellnuuEon does FR wall run, but we might see FR wall run. I don't think anyone has done FR wall run in this tournament yet, so if you're tuning in, this is actually a pretty fantastic thing to watch if Argick goes for it. I'm not, sorry, ZellnuuEon goes for it. Argick's going for is a very fast Rouge of almost 18 seconds. I don't know if I'd say very fast, but still respectably fast, and still much better than fighting Rouge the way the game developers intend you to. Ooh, it looks like Argick got caught down there. It can be very difficult busting open that tube if you get caught on the floor, because the gravity likes to treat you a little weird. ZellnuuEon almost missing the rail, but let's see what happens here. ZellnuuEon is not going to do a wall run. What we're going to see is fairly vanilla strats going through FR on ZellnuuEon's side. I wouldn't say FR is as fun as CG, but FR can be fairly fun to play skipless. Got the jump. ZellnuuEon got the jump to the, it skips a bit of a roundabout way. It doesn't take much longer to go the roundabout vanilla way, but this way is faster, definitely. Going into almost the final stretch of FR here. Argick is making their way through CG. And then right up here, we're going to be seeing... We saw a lot of deaths here yesterday in this section of FR without much issue at all. Pretty clean FR, other than that one death early on. Head into Shadow 2, which will effectively end their run. And they have a really nice lead right now. So they're finishing FR. Argick still has less than a minute left, but still, they're still in CG, so Blitz behind. Argick gets that super bounce first try, pretty good. Overshooting that goal ring with the speed shoes, but managed to pull it just enough.
Just made it.
So, Shadow 2, not much that needs to be explained. Well-timed homing attack jumps from the start, creates a pretty easy chain to manipulate Shadow. Shadow is not cooperating. Shadow is not playing along at all with ZellnuuEon. But what ultimately is going to happen is you're going to see... Oh, wow, ZellnuuEon took a hit. ZellnuuEon's going to actually do backup bouncing strats. Yeah, Shadow is just not cooperating at all. The basic strat for Shadow 2 is you're going to do a homing attack chain until you hit him. It usually should take 3 homing attacks to hit him. And that's ZellnuuEon wrapping it up at 46.58, just under 47-minute RTA. But you're basically going to do a series of homing attacks. Once you hit Shadow, you wait until Shadow's recoil animation hits the ground, and then you start the chain up again. And you should be able to reliably lock Shadow in place very quickly. It usually takes less than 20 seconds. So Argick coming into FR. And I don't know if Argick goes for FR skip, but we're going to see on that checkpoint. Well, that is unfortunate. So whether or not Argick was going to go for FR skip, it's very clear Argick is not going for FR skip now. That FR can be ridiculously punishing, especially to newer players. There's weird properties, there's weird collision issues and weird rails here. One thing that's worth noting is it's faster to bounce into a rail, but oftentimes if you try and jump off and bounce back into the rail too quickly, it'll pass through the rail and kill you. There's some weird geometry can pass through certain terrain. I don't see it often, but I know I myself have succumbed to the issues before. And yeah, GG, definitely a GG. ZellnuuEon took it, and ZellnuuEon had some issues in the run, but it still overall went ZellnuuEon's PB is, or how active ZellnuuEon has been lately. One of the big factors here was piece knowledge with Knuckles. ZellnuuEon definitely shined when it came to Knuckle stages, where Argick was not having pretty much any of it. I don't think Argick really had any idea where half the pieces were in the stages, and that really adds up and really costs a lot of time. Gonna see a sub 50 RTA on Argick's side. Fix the camera there, hit the rail. Depending on the trajectory coming off this. Okay, yeah, shoots high. Going into the final stretch of FR. From here on out, pretty free. I go into Shadow 2 to wrap up this race completely.
Yes!
Let's see if Argick can get a quick kill on Shadow. Something ZellnuuEon had a bit of a struggle with to at least finish strong here. You're not late, technically. The game's still going, so... Well, it's going on my screen, maybe not IRL. Congrats, by the way, ZellnuuEon. Now that you dropped in the chat, I see you there. Good job. You definitely pulled ahead. Your knuckle stages were by far the thing that pulled you ahead the most. Not give that quick kill. Looked like Argick's homing attack timing was a bit wacky on that. Alright, 51-38. So yeah, 46-58, 51-38. Congrats to both runners. Y'all both did pretty awesome. It was entertaining to watch. I hope everyone who watched it enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope I didn't drag it down because I can be a weird person to listen to for an hour. Congrats to ZellnuuEon on the win. Congrats to Argick on the effort. GG across the board. You guys were awesome. I am the only kid. You just watched Argick versus ZellnuuEon. We're on Speed Gaming 3. Thank you for being here. I don't know when the next race is, but I'm sure there's a schedule somewhere. Someone's going to post it. I'm sure chat's posted it like 400 times. So, hope to see you guys again. I know I personally have a race coming up in about 2.5 hours. So, hopefully you guys watch me bite dust because I'm bad. But, thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. And I'm out. For now, at least.